again. I said it yesterday and I caught you again today, which I think is really, really. Oh, something just happened with Ukraine. Okay, this is about what we're going to be having. I had chat yesterday, but today is actually what we're going to be trying to make next week, which are going to be different recipes. I always try to give you an idea of pretty much what's going on. Next week, I want to make baked eggs with tomatoes, feta, and croutons, which I think would be different, a quick meal, make it easy, because the weather's getting warmer. A lot of people don't want to stay in the kitchen and spend a lot of time in the kitchen. Now, this one I also like, which is lamb meatballs with leeks and a yogurt sauce, which I have not had. I think I know what it is, but I'm not sure, so I'm not going to sit there and swear on a stack of Bibles that I know what it is. As you can see, I got a lot of recipes in this one that caught me. What was this one that I wanted? Okay, let's kind of cut into it. Okay, this is braised fennel with radicchio and parmesan. I am not sure, but this is a vegetable salad basically, which would be nice and different because we're going into the warmer weathers. We want to make sure. And hello to the person who just noticed I was on. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I got all these pages marked and just trying to get them out is a bit of a problem. Let's see. Oh, God. Don't worry, I'll get to it. It takes me a bit of time. Oh, they left. Okay. And this is a tomato salad with feta and cumin yogurt dressing, which is most unusual, which will be nice. So those are some salads and things that we're thinking about having. I'm thinking about picking up cube steaks and stuff. Tomorrow, I'm going to make a salad that I had promised you weeks ago, but I lost the recipe. I found it, and I am going to make garlic patties tomorrow to go with it, which I think would be very nice. Something different. Yeah, I have a lot of cookbooks. Now, this is the classic Sloppy Joes, which I'm sure everybody knows about the classic Sloppy Joes. I haven't had them in years, so this will be something nice. My sons haven't had them in a long time, so we're going to try to swing that. I found another one you're not going to believe. I found a braised beef short ribs. This is another recipe that sounds interesting. It's made differently, but it's still short ribs beef, which I think would be really, really nice. Let's see, what else do I have in here? These are just some of the recipes. All right. Now look, I don't grill, so we're going to be missing the grilling part, but I'm going to do it in the oven. At least I'm going to make a very good attempt. There were 8 of you, and now there's 1 of you. All of you are leaving. Oh, thank you. It's called a Kansas City Sticky Ribs. So I think that that would be very interesting as well for what we're going to be having. And those are just some of the meals that I plan to make next week. I haven't put my shopping list together yet, but I am working on it. I've got 3 things on it, and I am actually working on it. And in between all that, I'm going to be going to my beautician. Excuse me again. Okay. And thank you so much, Rain. Rain? Rayne. Did I pronounce that right? Okay, well, there's 6 of you, but now you know what we're going to be having next week. I don't know if you wish to chat a bit. I'll probably give about 30 minutes today, but I wanted you to have an idea where we were going next week on these meals. You'll notice I'll be putting more salads out and more simple things because as the weather gets warm, nobody really wants to stay in the kitchen. And I don't think somebody wants to eat hamburgers and hot dogs every day of the week. So I look for recipes that'll be real easy. And some of these salads, you actually put meat on them and you can serve them just like that, which will make it easier for people. And if you're grilling, just make the salad in the inside. You have the vinaigrette, you bring it out, you grill your steak and you put it on, and that's nice. Hi, Timber and Outdoors. Hi. Can you say my name? All right. Gabriel Valentine. Did I pronounce your name right? I'll have to wait till he responds to say yay or nay. So that's where I'm thinking. Now I'm not thinking of soups and stews and things. Hi, Jaden Lopez. Hi. Bill Sub. Hi, Granny. Hi, Bar. You found me again. Okay. But that's how I'm thinking. Sub is subscribe. Okay, thank you, Gabriel. So that's how I'm going to be thinking. And as the weather gets hotter, you'll see fruit salads coming out and stuff. But happy birthday, Jaden Lopez. How are you today? How old are you? No, I am not famous. I am just one little person on this earth. And so we'll be heading into summer dishes and we'll sort of move. Okay. You got a long way to go. You got a long life ahead of you. My birthday was Monday and I turned 72. So we'll be swinging in that way. I might make cheeses or light dishes. Let's see, like a buffet, except we put it on a plate. Thank you. Yes, Jay, I know you're 12. You've got a long way to go. You've got a long life ahead of you, young man. Thank you. Yes, you're still very young. You're only 12. When you get up to 25, you start feeling old. By the time you hit 50, you know you're old. What can I give you? A life advice. Okay, I'm going to have to think on this now. Give me time. Be true to yourself. Be true and stand for what you believe with your convictions. If your convictions are evil to harm people, I'd throw those out. But always stick to your convictions of things that you believe. Work for what you love to do. Don't take a job that you're not happy with. And a smile can go a long way for a lot of people, believe it or not. So try that, okay? What do you stream about? Stream? Is that live videos? Is that what you mean? I want to make sure because I don't understand computer language. You're welcome. So stream means a live video? Okay, what I do is I have chat time. That's just if you want to talk with me, you know, or if you have questions and stuff, we can do that. Today I basically was giving a preview of the meals that I will be making for next week to give you an idea if you want to see the channel or not. And that's why I do it. I haven't done any. I'm not going to start canning for a couple of months and then I'll start canning. The meals will be canned at harvest time. Well, it's really butcher time. That's when the cattle is slaughtered. The slaughterhouses open up, and that's when I'll do the meals. But the fruits and stuff will be done in the spring. Especially, I like to line those up for the holidays, so I'll start those as the fruits come in and all. And by the way, any of you that played the game, I also like to play games. The pie that vied for apple pie in the colonial days was pear pie. Whichever way I want to make pumpkin pie, but I don't like to buy the canned pumpkin because I found out it's not really pumpkin, it's a whole bunch of squashes. So it's more really the squash pie. I'd rather buy those small pumpkins about so big and cut them in half and you bake them and then take them out and then make it. Hi, Timber and Outdoors. Hi. And what do I like to cook the most? I think bread, because that's my specialty. That was the first thing I was really taught to make was bread. Not coffee, not tea, but bread. And I was very good at it. and I still am. And I seem to have a mutual understanding with bread. My mother said I could walk in the room and the bread knows I'm coming. The yeast knows and it'll start doing what it has to do. Kibasas? I know kibasas. They're good. I also like to make falafels, but I have to find the mixture for falafels. I used to get it at Shahadi's, but my sons have given me direct orders. I cannot go into Brooklyn right now. Yeah, kibasas. We know them as kibasas here. Yes, it's a sausage. Okay. So, okay. Let's see. I've never had beet soup, though I've heard that it's good, but I've never had that. Though I have a recipe in one of my cookbooks, I was reading it. No, let's see. Is that the one that gets rolled up in like a pita bread with lettuce and tomato and it has like a yogurt sauce on it? What do they call them here? Oh, I can't even pronounce them. Gyros? Is that it? Yeah, I've had those. Mincemeat on a skewer. No, I might have. I don't know. Shawarmas. I don't know what that is. Sorry, I don't know that. You pickle? Yes, I do. I have a nice big thick book on how to pickle. Okay. Yeah, I have some pickles from last year. We haven't even finished those up yet. But I have a book on pickling. I have a book on dehydrating. And I pickled yams. That hurt my arm when I was done. But it's got a whole bunch of vegetables that I can pickle. Prime? I have no idea. I couldn't even answer that, Terry. I don't know. Thank you. Which ones are these? Let me see. Oh, yeah. These are some of the longest ones I have. I never remember. People say they like their earrings, and I have to feel them to remember because I have a lot of them. Middle Eastern? Yes, I do eat some Middle Eastern foods. Shahadi's where we get a lot of it, and there's a store next to Shahadi in Brooklyn. I cannot remember the name of it, but they have some. That's where I learned to. There's a sweet dessert they make that's cut in little squares. It's like pastries, and it's got honey on it. I don't know the name of it, but they're very, very good. I learned about meat pies, spinach pies there. I've also learned a pizza or something. Baklava. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I've had baklava too. I want to learn to make it, but it's a very complicated dish, so I'm not too up on it. Because I don't like to buy the pastry because there are preservatives in them. And I know what preservatives are doing to the body. Oh, that's like cauliflower. And so I'm not quick to buy that. And I had the recipe to make baklava, the pastry, to roll it out and how you fold it with butter and everything and lay it out. Somebody stole it from me. They also took my pineapple cheesecake, which I was not happy about. I told her I would share it with her, but she walked off with it, which I wasn't happy with. She took my whole book. Maybe before I close my eyes, I'll find it someday. There is a bootstrap version on the net. For baklava, you mean? Listen, a lot of those on the internet, they don't walk you through the whole thing. They're very quick to just give you parts of it and they leave steps out. I've tried that with 2 recipes. I said, oh, this looks good. I did exactly what they said. And I kept on saying, they're leaving steps out. They're leaving steps out. They're forcing you to subscribe and pay. Or I said, it won't go for me. Well, Bert, I think we're the only ones talking unless you left. There's only one on. You know what's funny? Is I sit there and I do these lives. There's only a few people on talking. But by the next morning, there are so many people that watch them. Okay, Bert, I think that's just you and I talking right now. Okay, so if you have anything to say it. Oh, somebody just came on. I don't know who, but we'll find out if they say something. So what? Is that a problem? No, just watching the numbers go. That's all. I just want to know, did you have anything else you wish to talk about? Okay. Well, in 20 minutes, we're almost at 17 minutes. Oh, from my past? Oh, believe you me, if I told you how I grew up, I'll tell you one that happened. My mother was a hitter. I think if a police officer stopped her, she'd punch his lights out. That's my mother. She didn't tolerate it. She hit my father. She hit us every Saturday. She would whip us, and her reasoning for it was, you get the whipping on Saturday because of everything that I didn't catch you on. And then she'd give us money and send us to the movies. And she whipped us all the time. I mean, if she caught us, we were in trouble. If we didn't do anything, she'd whip us to make sure we didn't do something. Boy, my backside and my brothers were always up in the air with her. So that's how I grew up. You didn't say anything. You had to sit there and be still. And it was yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. We did not call them mommy and daddy. They were very, very strict. But if they weren't strict, I would not be the person that I am today. I mean, I got on a motorcycle. I was in high school. And what was his name? Stephen sat there and said, Sandy, I'll drive you around in the parking lot. Because we drove cars to school when we hit high school. When we turned 15, we got a student driver's license. By 16, we were driving. And so I said, okay, but don't leave the school ground or I'm going to get in trouble. Because we had to stay in the school ground because the principal was responsible for all of us that we couldn't leave until after school. This was the rule. He was my father during the day, and my teacher was my mother. This is how we were raised. Well, I got on the cycle. We went around the parking lot of the school, and he decided to leave the parking lot. And I said, oh, God, don't do this. I am going to be in trouble. My mother's going to kill me. Well, he took me, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks from the school. I was panicking. I was near tears. I knew what my mother was going to do. She was going to kill me. And I sat there and I pleaded with him. He wasn't listening. Well, he went to turn to go onto the highway. He was going to go down the highway, which was going to take us a couple of miles out of town. I was really worried at that point. I said, Stephen, why do I listen to you? You're going to get me in trouble. Please get me back to school. Well, a car turned and he skidded and he hit the dirt and the cycle, and he and I went down. And the heat exhaust hit the inside of my right leg, which from the knee to the ankle was burnt. Well, and he had boots on. I had sandals on and a dress, so I was definitely going to be the one who's going to do it. And it was a thick scab I had on my legs, and on one leg. We went to school. The teacher saw me, and she said, "We have to call your mother." I said, "No, it's all right." She said, "No, we got to call your mother. You're going to the principal." I said, "Oh God, I don't want to go to the principal. My mother's going to kill me." And it wasn't my fault. I told Dennis to stay on the school grounds so I wouldn't get in trouble. Well, what happened? well, well, he had a slight burn because he had boots on, and my mother took us home, and she said, "Let me doctor your foot before you go home, Stephen." And my mother did it, and he said, "Your mother is such a gem. She's so gentle. She'll understand." And my mother drove him home. When she came back, she left welts on my backside. She beat me. She was so angry with me for leaving the schoolyard. And I said, "Mommy, he's the one who's driving. I told him to stay on the schoolyard." She didn't listen. She said it was your fault because you got on the cycle. And I said, "But he said that was it. The leg healed." But I can say my mother beat the hell out of me. She really did. And I deserved it. Oh God, I'll never forget that beating that I got. I had welts. And she said, "If you're scarred on that leg, that's your fault. Don't you say one word to me if you're deformed." So, I prayed, "Oh, please, Father, heal my leg, heal my leg, heal my leg." I don't want any scars. I don't have any scars, thank God. But it was bad. I meant from the knee to the ankle on the inside of the right leg. I had burnt it. And finally, and Dennis said, "How are you the next day?" I said, "Oh, I'm fine." It's like, no, I didn't want to get whipped anymore. I tell you, the accident was mild compared to the whipping that I got from my brother, from my mother. My older brother had a beating and a half. We had a moped, and James said, "Mommy, can I drive the moped around?" She said, "Yes, you can, but stay in the neighborhood," which was what, we had 1, 2, 3 blocks. All right. So he could just go in those 3 blocks, and that was it, because he didn't have a driver's license at the time. But he just wanted, boys will be boys, girls will be girls. Well, anyway, James, we didn't know, had left the neighborhood. He was clean across town. He ran a stop sign, and he got hit by a car. He skidded and ripped the skin off whole half of his face. We didn't know about it until James came home. Mom was at the kitchen sink, and James came through the back door. So her back was to the back door. And he said, "Mommy, I don't want you to be upset." And she turned around and said, "What?" And she looked at him, and she screamed. We ended up going to the emergency room. No, we couldn't go to the emergency room. That's right, we didn't at that time. That was another time. Wait a minute. How did it go? Mom called Dr. John. John came to the house. I had to move into my brother's room because James couldn't sleep with anybody because they didn't want an infection. So he was sleeping in my bedroom, and I had to go sleep in his room. And my parents, I knew James was going to be beaten. I mean, my leg, I knew he was going to get in trouble. Mommy and Daddy didn't beat him. They doctored him, the doctor said, and the doctor came every couple of days to see how things were going on his face. It was healing nice. And when James's face was healed, Gino and I went up to him and said, "Jimmy, did Mommy and Daddy whip you?" No. "Are you sure? Did they say anything?" "No." That doesn't sound like Mommy and Daddy. This was our philosophy. And the next day, the doctor came and said James was well. He could go, he was fine. He doesn't have any scar on his face. It healed quite nicely. Gino and I got 50 cents each to go to the movies. Remember, going to the movies at that time was only 15 cents. We could buy a hamburger, soda, candy, and popcorn and come back with change with 50 cents. Very cheap. And we found out later, they sent us to the movie because both my parents beat the crap out of my brother. I mean, he got torn into. So we had very strict parents. I think now being a parent, the reason parents hit their children is because we frighten the hell out of them, honestly. I mean, we really scare them, some of the things that we do. And we're just being exploring and doing things, and our curiosity gets the betterment of us, and we take off, and next thing we know, we could get in a lot of trouble. We could get hurt. But we didn't think of that. Children, like I said, we went to Saddleback Mountain, and my brothers and I were hanging out. Now listen, my father's on the outer lane, and there's no support. We're going up a mountain, and we're hanging out the window looking down, and we see the bottom of the mountain. We go, oh, wow, look. You know, we're getting all excited. We all could have died if Daddy didn't watch what he was doing. And my mother kept telling us, stick your heads back in the car. But Mommy, you want to see how pretty it is down? Boy, we're way up there. Look how far, you know, this is what we're doing. Children, we get ourselves in trouble. And I think we scare our parents. And that's why they whip us, because they love us and they can see us killing ourselves. So we're not out to do that. We're just having fun. But those are some stories that I have gone through. But believe you me, my mother was the hitter. I always believed that if a cop ever stopped her, I just know she would get out of that car and punch him. You know, she just had that kind of temper. And she was short. She didn't care how tall they were. She'd bring them down. My mother was a tyrant. She had everybody fearful. Even the town was afraid of her. Which was funny. 4 stories. Yeah, those are the stories of me growing up. So, hello, Polly B. It's on the other side right there. I grew up in an interesting time. Life was slower, but it was a good time. And I like that. In the city here, well, I live on the outskirts of the metropolitan area. I have a wildlife about 4 blocks from my house and all. But the thing is that I like that slower pace of life than the pace we have today. It is so fast that you don't have time to slow down. I mean, if we wanted to play with our friends, we had to go and knock on the door and ask could they come out and play, you know, or be. And we would hang out and stuff, but it was fun. Okay, humanities. Thank you. So it was a time, and I'm sure when all of you get older and you look back, and if we keep on going at the fast pace we're going, excuse me, you're going to call this a slow time. You know, but we walked to school and everything else. But at 15, they made us take driver's ed. I'm from India. Lots of love to you. Thank you. But those are some things that I went through. But most of all, I remembered my mother's temper. One time I ran from her. I was so terrified of her. I was going to run to Grandma's house. Grandma doesn't hit, Mommy hits. She even had a special belt. Okay, I'll take care. But those are some things that I went through in my life. Good, bad, and indifference. Like the time I almost burnt my mother's house down because of cartoons. You don't want to know about that one. I thought she was going to kill me. I came very close to it. Okay, we have been talking for about 30 minutes. Don't you think? Rose, hi again. How are you? I guess I'm not going to be leaving real soon. But those are some of my stories. No, when they show up, I'm probably sound asleep. I do. I mean, my sons have scared the tar out of me, and I've whipped them. I said, oh, don't scare me like that. So I think children actually scare their parents, and that's why parents tear into them. You don't understand what we go through. And all what you're doing is, we're having fun. Have you, Bart Simpson, ever seen any UFOs? or anything? I know they had the drones flying over. They were looking for something. I think at the government. I think it was the 4 bombs they were looking for. And I think that's what it's about. Oh, don't worry. When they hit a teenager, that's when you really go crazy. Polly, believe you me, 2.5 years old is nothing. When they hit those teenagers and they start getting in trouble, if you don't have gray hair and you haven't pulled it out, you're going to get a lot of gray hair at that point. One of my sons is working right now. He works the evening shift, so that's why I have to make dinner for breakfast, and I'm running around eating breakfast while I'm preparing dinner. You guys don't see me eating it, but that's what I do. Yes, they do. They stay here. It's a big house. And the other one went and stretched his legs. He said, I have to walk, Mommy. I'll be back later. I said, okay. No, tantrums are nothing. You put your foot down on the tantrums. If you don't stop the tantrums, you're in trouble because when they get older, they're going to continue. You have to tell them tantrums are not proper. When my son had a tantrum, the switch came out and he got it. You want a tantrum? I'm going to give you a reason to cry. They don't have tantrums now. But if you don't correct that problem when they're little, they're going to carry on with those tantrums and have tantrums all their life. So they have to know that there is if they can't act responsible, even as a little one, they have their rules among themselves. You have to put that rule down. Oh, okay. 19. Oh, listen, the only way you're going to do it is with a belt or your hand. They're going to have to know that you mean it. One time, my son was so bad, he had me laughing, but I said, I have to punish you. I was laughing while I punished him, and he looked at me and said, you're really going to laugh? I said, yes, I am, because it was stupid how you did it, but you shouldn't have done it in the first place. And I know he must have thought I was crazy. Mommy's laughing, whipping me. I said, I'm going to whip you. And don't let anybody tell you you can't whip your children. If you don't, you end up with a spoiled brat. And the Bible is very specific about that. It says, spare that rod, and you're going to have a spoiled child that grows into a spoiled adult. And then they break the law, and then you find them behind jail, and you wonder what you did wrong. That's because you didn't take that authority. Oh, so I hope you enjoyed the meal that I made today. It was a very simple one. It was a casserole. It was made with scallops and shrimps. It was a half a pound of each. It had a lot of cheese in it, but it was really nice. Oh, okay. Well, listen, you don't have to worry. I found out that YouTube is going to make hubbing, and what it's going to do is translate what you say into my language, and then what I say is going to be translated into your language, so it'll be easier for people to communicate. Thank you very much. I try to keep a positivity, but some days I do pull my hair out. So in the dubbing, that they haven't set it up yet, but they've said they're going to be setting it up soon, so it'll be easier. So the videos that are in my country will be able to spread out more. And they said this way it'll be, you can understand what I'm saying when I'm cooking. And if I want to see videos from your country, it should be able, but they're going to do the translating for us, and they call it dubbing. For a job, English is a must. Well, listen, I'm an American and I speak English and I have trouble with it. Don't worry about it. So, what kind of job are you going for in English humanities? Probably, I would think, oh God, I wouldn't even know. What job do you need in English? Phones or something? Okay, that's very good. What's an IAS? International, or is that interpreters for United Nations? Because if you speak 2 or 3 languages, you can work at the United Nations. If you're real good and be a translator, they do quite well financially. Oh, okay. Okay. So what kind of job? Why would you need English if it's an Indian administrative service in India? Yes, my husband took me to some restaurants, but he also sat there because the Indian food is so spicy. He said she'll take a mild. Okay, that's great. You're not going to find a lot of people cooking like you. Make your own unique if you're going to open a channel for that. Yeah, I've had the sweet ones. I like the sweet ones, but boy, the spices on you can sometimes send me to the bathroom in a hurry. Yes, I do. I can't type. I am sorry. I'm talking. My Instagram account is Lady of Rose Manor at, was that it? Gmail.com? I have to ask my sons. I don't know. My name is Kushba. Kush is the U and E sound. Kushbi. I know my Facebook is, yes, okay, Kushbi. Uh, my Facebook page is, actually, does it go by your name? It would be Sandra Hunt, I think. Yeah, I just look for my face by Sandra Hunt. I think on both of them. You can find it right there. I think that's how you do it. Should be it. Yeah, because if you type in my name on Facebook, it should come up. You'll see a lot of Sandra Hunts. Just look for my face. And I think it's the same thing on Instagram. Oh, well, type Sandra Hunt in and see if it comes up on Instagram. So I don't know. My son helped me set it up, but that was a long time ago. So just use my name and see if it comes up. Just look for my face. It should be right there. I don't post on Instagram, though people are following me. I've been so busy with the YouTube, and I had a cooking page on Facebook as well as that was the first thing I did was Facebook until they started not liking conservatives. No, Sandra, Sandra. And I was using Facebook, but when they started censoring, I went to Instagram because my son helped me set up Facebook and Instagram, but Instagram's been sitting there and I didn't use it too much. Yes, she's in the dining room. What can I say? So, my husband is dead. He passed away about 15 years ago. Was it 15? Yeah, going on 15 years. And, well, I am too. I do miss him, especially when I have things to do and I have to figure out how to do it. Drives me insane sometimes. And so my son helped me set up the Facebook, then set up a Facebook cooking page. And then from there I went to YouTube. And he set up Instagram at the same time and YouTube, but I didn't know how to use Instagram or to do YouTube. Yeah, when you fall in love with people, you never quit loving them. The only thing is I wouldn't want him in his sickness because it was bad. It was very, very, very bad. So I'm glad that he got out of the body. That's how I say it. And he moved on. He's not in any more pain or anything else. So that's a good thing. And then after him, I ended up with a boyfriend about 2 years later. And 9 years later, he died. I said, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. Wash my hands. That's it. I'm not burying anybody else. I'll bury my cats. They'll probably die before I do. And thank you for the hug. So, but JC, always remember when you fall in love with somebody, you really don't fall out of love. You can miss them, but you know when you leave, you'll see them again. No, we really don't die. I know that sounds, I'm having my exam season on. Ugh. Doesn't suit your face. I look at life this way. This is school for me. But nobody dies because we're spirits living in, we're souls, actually souls living in a body. This is how I perceive things. And I sit there and look at it that I live in this body. When this body lays down, I'm still very much alive and I'm still very much myself. It's just I'm on another plane. All right, humanities, you have a good night. Oh, I thought about it, but then I'd probably, pass out if I saw it. I shall. Bye-bye, humanities. Okay, but that's how I perceive life in general. When we're born, the soul comes into the body. This is a temple, and what we do with it answers for a lot of the things. And this is school. We go through school in this body. We can't leave it. We're stuck with it until it's that time for us to go home. And we go through what people call karma. I call school, the school of hard knocks. We meet people that we have a liking to as soon as we meet them. These are people that we've known before. And we know them. We know the soul, but they're just in a different body. And then when the body goes, we go to heaven, or we move up the ladder to heaven, and after a time pain we come back again, but we don't lose anybody. I know that my husband's around. He doesn't have a body that I can hold on to, but he's here. So the love never dies in anybody. So if you love somebody, you don't have to worry about it. Just because the body goes doesn't mean they do. I really wish you to see a UFO. Why? You know what I'd probably do? I'd probably let everything out of my body. You know what I mean? I think I'd have a puddle and a mess between my legs. I think everything would come out. I don't think I want to see a UFO. What a thing to think about. Love. knowing that I am loved by my Father, my Heavenly Father, knowing that He loves me. He loved me enough to give me life. He gave me enough to give me the breath of life. Hello, Wellen. Yes, Simpson, yes, that's true. But that's why I'm happy. I know He loves me, and that means a lot to me. And I can live with that, knowing He loves me. And I know what happens to me in my life is payback for what I've done to people in another time, in another life, because I believe in reincarnation. So, if you've done good, that good will be returned back to you. If you have been vicious, when you come in this life, people will be vicious back to you. So I look at life as I'm going to treat everybody with a good frame of mind. I'm going to be kind to them and respectful. And in this way, if anything comes, my mother hates me. That's fine. I just don't want to see her because I don't want to be hurt anymore. And that's how I look at it. So stay in a good frame of mind. Be happy with life. Oh, heavens, yes. JC asked me, do I believe in God? Yes, I do, very, very much. I tell people every cell in my body screams of it. And sometimes when I was little, I used to think and said, it couldn't have been that bad for Christ. But when you got older, you saw what He went through. I said, oh, God, nobody could have gone through that. That's why He cried out and said, Father, you've forsaken me. I said 30 minutes, and now we're up to 47. Well, and you're being quiet. You just said hello, and then you just got dead quiet. And people say, how do you know that God loves you? You have the breath of life. He gave it to you. He breathed it in. He created us. You couldn't go against that. Well, one of my sons is coming home, the one who went for a walk. Oh, okay, Bart. God, yes, He does. And everything. You take a look at the animals, the sky, nature, you can see it. Enjoy your walk? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, He does. Now listen, we go 1 minute and 1.5 minutes, and I'm going to be going. No, I tried to do just a chat on Tuesday, but I'm not real good at that. I'm still trying to get that into my schedule. On Wednesdays is the day I like to sit there at 3 o'clock and let you know what will be on the menu the following week and what we'll be learning. It gives you an idea of the things that you'll be learning for people who want to learn. But I couldn't stream every day. Oh, no. The work I have to do, no. So you've got 1 minute and 2 seconds, and then I'm going to have to go because that'll be 50 minutes, and I've got some other stuff I have to do. Excuse me. I hope to. I hope to stay happy. I know it sounds stupid, but I try. Do any of you have a YouTube channel? I'd like to know that. Yes, I will see you, if not Tuesday, definitely Wednesday about this time. Okay? Next week, JC. And I will finish having a great day. And the same to you as well. Thank you. Okay. We got 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, one. Listen, take care, everybody, and I'll see you definitely Wednesday next week at 3, but Tuesday you can check out and I'll try to do a live. So if you have any questions or anything, I'll be here for you. Okay, bye-bye.